Good morning, everybody. Today is day 226. It is September 18th, 2023, and it's 9:23 a.m. in the morning, Mountain Time. I was going to say p.m. I don't know why. Obviously, it's not nighttime. Okay, so let's get started. My mind is somewhere else. As you guys know, today is my doctor's appointment. And actually, I have more than one, but the one I'm mainly concerned with is, what is my doctor going to say about my fingers, right? As you guys know, I started trying to learn how to do my own nails, and we bought a lot of products, drilled to a bit, like the whole nine. And so I'm hoping that he doesn't tell me that I have to stop permanently, even though I'm thinking about switching to the gel products, which would mean that I need other things. Like, I don't think I need the monomer and stuff like that, which is not good because I like to have a backup. And so, of course, I ordered extra. Now, I didn't order like, a large amount of extra, but it was enough to where I didn't have to worry about running out soon. Okay, so aside from my own personal concern that I don't know if I can actually get good enough to do my own nails, especially with the acrylic powders, and would I attempt to try the gel before I just gave up completely, I'm also, like I said, worried that he might tell me that I have to stop completely, like permanently. So, yeah, that's where I'm at this morning with my thought process. And I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what he says. That middle finger on the right hand, yeah, I'm really concerned. It does look better than what it has been. It is growing out, but it just, you guys, yeah. It still looks bad enough to where I don't think he's going to have anything positive to say, because this is not a good thing, obviously. Right, so part of that is expected, but I know it'll be probably the best thing for me to do. It's just that if he does tell me that, I hate that we wasted all the money. Especially now that I got the barbicide and I didn't just do the acetone, the 91% alcohol. Now I did the barbicide as well. And like I said, rinse. Yes, clean your products with soap and water if you can. And then after you soak the items for 10 minutes, if it's anything you use in the nail salon or drill bits, things like that, if you just do your own nails, or let's say you cut hair. Okay, so anything that you find out that you can put in there for that 10 minutes, make sure whatever you put in there, that afterwards you rinse it off. It doesn't say the temperature of water. Like when it tells you how to mix it, it tells you to use warm water, 32 ounces, and like I said, 2 ounces of barbicide. But when you rinse, it doesn't say the temperature, if it should be warm, if it should be hot. But you need to rinse the barbicide off. Okay, so I know when I was explaining that about 3 or 4 days ago, I didn't explain that quickly. But my mind has kind of been all over the place for the past week anyway on just different things that have been happening. So I've been trying to stay focused. Let's see if I can get the treadmill up to, I don't know what speed, but something faster than this. And then, I think I sped it up too fast. It kind of paused for a second. Okay, so I said I was going to do like a gradual speeding up, right? And I've been trying not to walk more this way because I'm noticing that I'm tending to like walk more to the left. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have tripped several times within the past couple of days. I think it's just the fact that I'm looking that way, and so I'm like walking more to that side. So I'm trying to stay centered. Like I said, I always say that there's not a lot of surface to stay centered on, but there's enough. So let me go ahead and gradually get this up because we're at 1.4. And as you guys know, I at least like to have it at 2. So we're 4 minutes in. And that's 1.6. I think I'll wait a couple seconds after each time I go up. Okay, let's see if it's ready for 1.8. All right, 2 more, you guys, and then we can continue on with our walk and talk. Okay, that's 1.9. And here goes 2. And then also we know to pay attention within the first 5 to 8 minutes, right? Usually if something's gonna happen, it happens at that point. If I was walking faster, then it would be within the first 8 minutes, or I've gotten, I believe, like halfway through. So I'm not gonna speed it up faster than that. We're at 5 minutes, so we still got about 3 minutes. If something's gonna happen for the first time for it to happen. Okay, so yeah, anyway, that's where my mind is at. Also, I tried something this morning and it didn't work the way I thought it would. If I had known it wasn't gonna work, I'd have been out here sooner. But at least I ran a test and now I can just try again after the walk. Okay, so I'll see how that goes because I needed to finish that before I left. So yeah, a couple things I needed to do. And I need like some, yeah, I just needed to happen before, right? So by the time I go to my doctor's appointments and then run to Walmart, get some more white vinegar and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, my mind is somewhere else. I'll take care of it though. I think I know where I went wrong, so at least I know what happened and I can try again. Okay, so I think yesterday and the day before I was going to talk about a favorite TV show. I know I haven't talked about those in a while, right? Okay, so it's already aired. It's already had its, I think, season finale. So far as I know, they're not going to bring it back. I think it was a really funny show, and I think they should. We'll start with The Big Bang Theory, and then the other show I'm thinking, I think we already talked about it. But while I'm talking about that one, then I can kind of think of the other one and see. Because I currently right now don't remember what the second one was. That's how I kept forgetting to talk about it. So, yes. Let's go to the characters. Now, I don't remember any of their names, just their character names. Okay, so let's start with Sheldon, right? One, I'll say overall, the 4 of them, it is just not amazing, but like I'm kind of fascinated by how smart they are, right? And I was thinking when I watch the show on a regular basis, and now I just watch reruns if I can catch it, that I was surprised I was understanding what they were explaining. And I thought, oh, okay, this makes sense, that makes sense. And then if I didn't understand it, I would ask my husband. And if he knew what they were talking about, then he would explain it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I would tie stuff together because they talk about, like I said, quantum physics and stuff like that. And one of them does astronomy, right? Okay, so I always thought that that was just kind of cool, just overall. Some stuff you don't understand, you're like, what? You have like that penny moment, right? But for me, it was still kind of fascinating. So, I always make the joke, and if any of the actors see this, remember this is my reaction and thought on the characters, okay? I don't know you guys personally, and I don't know any of the staff member or anything like that personally either, right? Okay, so you guys played your parts, though. I have to say that. So like I said, Dr. Sheldon Cooper. Boy, let me tell you, it would take a lot of patience for me to be his roommate. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. Now, on the side note of things, you guys know I've made a couple of jokes of some characters that if you put them together, they remind me of my husband. But I know I say that, but I'm kind of joking more so than I am serious. So no, it's not to the point of how Sheldon is. Okay, so I don't know what else they told him to be, but everything, I don't know. I think maybe he might have exceeded their expectations, right? Possibly, unless they knew his acting capability. So I don't know if you guys agree. Like I said, his intelligence is fascinating. Some things, I don't know if they got him right or if they got him wrong. I don't know exactly how accurate they were. Some stuff I kind of knew, some stuff I didn't. But it sounded smart, right? If it wasn't accurate. So, but yes, his personality just, wow. How he was just unaware until people would tell him, like how hurtful he could be, and I don't know. He would just like, well, why? It's a fact. And he really didn't understand in the beginning how, I guess there's, not to sugarcoat things, because he was far from that, right? But to be kind of tactful. And most of the time, it was just stuff that he just shouldn't have said, right? So, then he would say something after, or his apologies were hilarious. I was like, that's not an apology, but okay. And so, watching him, there's a phrase, a saying, I don't know, that's not, it's not nice, but I don't know what other word to use. The person is so smart that they're not. We'll put it that way, right? We know words used in that place. But yes, I don't know how Leonard did it. Okay. If this were a real life situation, if I were Leonard, I wouldn't have lasted a week. And that roommate agreement, how about that, you guys? That roommate agreement was funny. I was just like, he agreed to that. And they never talk fully what it's about, right? Because it's a huge book that he wrote. But one of the episodes that we watched the other day was a rewind when Rajesh, right? Sister Priya came to visit, and she's a law student, right? I believe by the time they met that she already had graduated, and she's good. And she just tore down his whole agreement, right? And so, because he makes everyone else miserable, just about everybody found it funny. Even though, of course, there was the thing where Penny and Leonard were on and off for a while. And so Priya coming in, and whoever she dated kind of put a damper on that, right? It wasn't a solid relationship until later. Okay, so, yeah, but they all agreed that he was kind of like getting what he deserved. And it was what he wrote, right? That's the worst part about it. He did it to himself. So, I don't know. If I knew someone like that, I couldn't live with him. I really couldn't. I could see myself saying more of what I thought more often. You know how like they finally just let him have it, right? And it doesn't really affect him, but when it does, I think that helps him. I don't know what word I want to use. I would say humanize him a little bit, I guess. Or make him more aware of other people's feelings other than himself, right? He's a really me-I person all the time. His mom. I actually wasn't going to talk about her. But his mom, well, one, I can't remember if they kept the same mom through the whole thing. I think they did. I know that they did young Sheldon, right, afterwards. And the moms were different. So, and I'll say Young Sheldon. In The Big Bang Theory, the woman was the sister from Roseanne, right? And she played that part. Both of the women did good playing his mom, no matter if it was Young Sheldon or if it was The Big Bang Theory. But it would be kind of neat if they were able to get the same person, whichever one it was, for both shows. But yeah, she was so opposite of him, right? And he, just a special person. Yeah. She, I don't know. If you watch Young Sheldon, or if you haven't, watch it, because even as a child, you would wonder how they didn't have a separate house for him, like right next door. So yeah. Whatever they told him to capture for his character, he did it. And he did it just, I mean, he really did it. So I don't even know how to explain it. Sheldon's just, if you watch the show, The Big Bang Theory, then you know what I mean. The one time, okay, so this is not nice. I warned you. Okay, so we have a thing, I can't remember if we call it the Sheldon slap or limit slap, but if you've seen that episode, I think he might have needed one more of those slaps. I'm just saying. Like, that's not nice. Neither was he, right? So, that was like one of my favorite episodes. That was funny. It was unexpected too. So, yeah. But moving on from him, because you really won't want to stay in the same room with him for very long, especially if he's teaching you something. He will take you all the way back to before, like, prehistoric times, right? And you're like, I just need the short version. And so that was one thing that he was funny. And then when he would laugh, it was funny too how he would laugh. And then his bazingas, I mean, come on now. By that time, those were jokes. There was one scene I'll talk about really quick when he received an award and he didn't think that it was a great award until he found out that he received it. And so he had to give a speech at the school. I don't know if you guys have seen the episode. Everybody came. There was already a character on the show, right? Of course. I don't know if Howard had met Bernadette yet. But, and then Amy. I don't know if Amy was on the show yet. So, he was very, very nervous. And then Penny made a suggestion that he wasn't nervous. And he went up there and he started off with some jokes. Some of them, actually, I thought were funny. And I thought no one laughed at that. That was funny. So, yeah. Okay, so Leonard. As you know, character from Roseanne, right? He had the whole, I don't know, I won't say it's not nice, but, well, I think they considered themselves that and they were proud of it, so he was a nerd as well, right? Really smart. His mom, we'll get to her in a second. Brutal person, right? Brutally honest. Her and Sheldon together? No. There's no way. I probably have won off on both of them. So, combined, oh no. And of course she was a therapist or whatever, right? So, what's that called? Psychoanalyzing? She could try. That's all I can say. So, Leonard just, he wanted his mom to accept him, and she held his, brother and sister in high regards, at least his brother, right? And so, if you take that part out, he kind of was, I don't know, he had a cool thing about him. The way they all dressed cracked me up. Oh my gosh, like what were they, 7? But, just saying, I mean, I know they enjoyed it, but I know that was something that some people watching the show probably thought, but that's part of what made it funny, right? Especially Howard's outfits, my goodness. Hilarious. But, yes, so every now and then, his coolness, what we would call probably swag now, right, would come out. and his sarcasm. I think is what made him extremely funny. Well, no, I was gonna say he was like Sheldon with feelings, but no one was like Sheldon, except for his mom, Leonard's mom. But I thought I could see how him and Penny just clicked. It wasn't even so much of an opposite attract type thing, because she was smart her own way, right? But it was more than that. He could be cool when he wasn't trying too hard. So, and his hair. Most of the time, I like his hair. And out of all of them, I would say he had a couple of outfits where, like I said, you can look and think, that's a little kid. It's like childish kind of, right? So I don't really know how to explain it, except the fact I give him a big round of applause, like I said, for being able to be Sheldon's roommate for so long. And then memorizing any part of that roommate agreement. And then, I don't know, maybe he just, like you said, kind of followed it to make it easier. So when he would give in to him, I wouldn't think all the time, like, come on, man up, right? It was just simpler. And some stuff wasn't really a big deal. Now, obviously, Sheldon made a big deal out of everything, right? So Leonard had this way of kind of just like brushing some stuff off and being able to say, like, whatever, to just about anything Sheldon did. So he was only like really sensitive when it came to his mom. But I mean, once they pulled her into the show, her character, then you saw why. So we're 21 minutes and 42 seconds. All right, let's get to Rajesh. Raj. I'll call him Raj just in case I'm not saying the name of the character right. Smart. Right? Parents, I think, were still back over in India. Like I said, Priya came a little, well, not a little, but a lot later. I don't even know if they would have mentioned he had a sister up until they brought her onto the show. So, outfits, like I said, odd. Some of his haircuts were kind of odd. Some were like, okay, that fits you. One reminded me of the haircut from one of the actors from, I think, Chips. But anyway, he had a hard time speaking to women. You know, he didn't know, but he had to drink to be able to talk to them. But the stuff he would say is like slap, right? Like almost all the time. He was a nice guy, but it quickly would turn into something inappropriate that he would say. And then you understood him and Howard's friendship. Because Howard was like truly inappropriate as well, right? And so I think it was just the fact that he was serious when he would say it. And that's where he just tried too hard. You know, he'd be the one that you could see come up with the lines. It's like, you know what, that was on the safe side of the lines. Like, I know you're tired because you've been running through my mind all day, right? It must have hurt when you fell from heaven. You're like, who said these things to you? These are just pickup lines I've heard, right? Not said to me, but just, you hear me, you laugh. Do you have a quarter? What was that, first Miss Belair? A quarter, yeah. Because my mom told me to call her when I fell in love, you know, right? So, he could have stayed like on that side, but he would get into slap zone or creepy zone. And it was like, dude, you'd have been fine if you just had not said that. So I think that was funny. And then I remember the episode when he started talking in front of Penny and he didn't realize it. And so he finally was able to talk to her. And from then on out, he was okay. I believe after that, he was able to talk to females like that. It stayed permanent. And so his shyness kind of broke, right? And so still, you know, I do remember the episode where, I don't know if they all were on like the show by then, Bernadette and Amy, not just Penny. But I think in one episode they had to tell him, you said that to her? Or they were trying to help him, and they're like, no, don't say anything like that, right? So they tried to help him, but he always seemed to be the one that never ended up staying with someone for long term. Like I said, he'd be doing fine, and then that side would come out, and I don't know if he thought, I guess he thought it was cool, and they had to tell him, no, that's creepy, or that's not respectful. And even after they talked to him, he didn't kind of really seem to get it. I don't even know if I noticed a change, like it being less. So, yes, I believe he would have had a better chance if he wanted to keep doing the pickup lines, to say pickup friendly. I don't know what else to call it. But that made me laugh. And then the episode we just saw the other day was where I guess Howard had told him that he had to give presents on Thanksgiving. I thought that was funny. And then during some other holiday, I think he told him that like 4th of July, whatever, they had to wash their clothes, do their laundry, because they were his friends. Something odd like that. But it all came out in this one episode that was not true. So, I don't know. And then it was cute to see how protective he was over his sister too. Like she's off limits to both of you. Now, he wasn't worried about Sheldon, right? Sheldon wasn't really like dating anyone for a while until Amy came along, right? And so, like I said, he overall would just make no one want to be in the same room with him longer than 2 minutes, so didn't really have to worry about that. And Howard, of course, there should be a concern, but Howard and, well, I was going to say, no, that's him. Howard would probably just ruin it for himself. Like I said, he would say stuff just as bad as Raj would, so no worry there. But Leonard was nice, and didn't have like those odd pickup lines and like, I don't know, just, I don't even know, like I said, how to put it, that make you do that face I just did, right? But he didn't even want him to talk to her either. And we know what happened with him, so didn't last. Don't really think it was meant to. It was obvious that at some point him and Penny were going to get together and stay together. Penny was the icebreaker. Cool girl from Nebraska, right? Like she said, she wants to be an actress. And so she was pretty. That one episode we saw the other day was when first time they brought her to the comic book store. Remember, everyone just froze. And they're like, oh, boasting, yeah, she's with us, you know. So she just brought a coolness to the group that wasn't there most of the time. And if it did come, like I said, it would come from Leonard, right? So, with Sheldon, I think, besides the fact that they were straightforward with him as friends, right? They would prank each other though. Penny was just like straightforward, and then very, very rarely would do any type of prank on him or anything like that. And she just gave it to him straight, right? Like, look, no. And so I think that's how they bonded, because his mom was like that. And so was his sister, right? If you're watching on Sheldon. And I think that she became like a sister to him. Maybe, I don't know, I want to say a mom figure, but just had some of her qualities. And, you know, they all understood him, but she was kind of like the tough love person, basically. And for some reason, that just worked for a friendship. Like I said, or like they said in the show the other day, At first they weren't friends at all, right? No. It's hard to call him a friend. But they were his friends, and so was she. So I don't know what else to say. I liked how eventually she ended up with like a really, really good job, right? And she was good at it. And so I know it's kind of difficult for her to work, I think it was Bernadette, right? But she was trying so hard, she didn't want to be a waitress anymore. So I like how they took her out of that, because eventually that would have got old. So whoever took her out of being the waitress at the Cheesecake Factory, I think was a good idea. It was time. And it was kind of cool how it kind of pulled somewhat into one of their professions, somewhat. And I hate to say it, but she was able to do it without a degree. Never said you needed one, but I'm just pointing out she didn't have it. But still, she had her personality. So I think that she was good to learn. Like, she just kind of toughened up the whole group, right? So yeah, I like her character. So we're 30 minutes, 57 seconds. Now let's see. Bernadette, I believe they were friends. I would say, well, yeah, because Bernadette was a waitress at the Cheesecake Factory, right? That's what I just saw in one of the episodes from the other day. I don't know. I don't remember what she referred to herself as that, but she was just a little. She was. I don't know how to explain it. Just cute, right? Short, cute, pint-sized fun or whatever. And so it was funny how when she would yell, she would sound like his mom, though, Howard's mom. That was hilarious. If that was her doing that, if that was a separate actress, I think they showed Howard's mom on some episodes, right? If they were each doing their own yell, they got pretty close to each other. So the fact that she could pretty much sound just like her was really funny. Their baby, remember, I think the first one, she would cry. I think she would sound like that, and so it was like, that's odd. But other than that, she didn't have that sound. That Howard, and she just yell, right? And just ripping one, like, stop, and here he goes walking away, like, okay. He needed that. She was really nice, but when she wasn't, oh my gosh. But for how he was, like I said, some of the stuff he would say, some of the stuff he was getting ready to do or would do, he needed that. And so he didn't change a lot, but how do I put this? He was less inappropriate by the time he was with her. And so Bernadette was a good addition to the group. Each of them that ended up in a relationship with someone, they needed that person to kind of balance them out. So Amy, there's a lot to say. One, she played Blossom, right? And I believe after the Big Bang Theory, Call Me Kat. And then neuroscientist. Let's see. I know it's neuro something. Her actual degree that she has, and I think she was in that profession. I don't know how long, but whatever she was in the show, that's what she was in real life. Like, she had a degree and everything in it, stuff like that, right? And it even is talked about, like, they have her talk about it, and I think one of the commercials that she does. And then also, I had recently seen an episode of Jeopardy. So at one point in time, I think she hosted Jeopardy. Okay, so big actress, been around since I was younger. I don't know how old I was when Blossom came on, because I didn't do any research on that, like when did it first air. But she's always been on these like really cool, funny shows, and she just keeps getting like funnier and funnier. Like, she pulled Amy off. I don't know if they could have gotten anyone else to play Amy. And like I said, everyone was kind of amazed at how she's like, oh, I'm with Dr. Sheldon Cooper. But at the same time, she just balanced him out. Like I said, he needed to kind of just be nice sometimes. Yeah, there's another way to put it. And so where it was needed, it was needed. Now sometimes they would have competitions. I think they had like their paintball fights and things like that, where she's like, okay, get him. Other than that, yeah, he could be, like I said, just really hurtful sometimes, and so she helped with that. Her outfits were funny. They were her, right? And I used to be like, well, I don't know if you want to wear that. It's kind of similar to what you wore, but she had a look that was her own. She was just unique. She was herself, and so they all were that. They all were their own individual selves, but they kind of melted, like meshed well together. So I just like her overall for just her many talents of different characters she's played throughout the years. And she nailed it with Amy, just like in Call Me Cat, she nailed it being Cat. And the episodes with her doing the trials with the monkey, that was funny, having him as a little roommate. Some of those episodes came on. And then they were the closest in behavior, but Amy just had feelings and she showed them more often, right? She was just overall nicer than him, way nicer, actually. And so like I said, they balance each other. It was funny how they'd be talking on their laptops and, you know, they would make their agreements. Everyone else would be looking at them like, okay, you guys are both weird. But Amy was tolerable and Sheldon most of the time wasn't. So I think that was the biggest balanced kind of relationship, that where you notice the similarities and the differences, but how it worked, right? The whole opposites attract thing. They were just opposite enough to where that really, really works. It really clicks. And I would say probably, I don't know if Leonard and Penny were next, or if I would say Howard and Bernadette, who will be second in place for that. But yeah, so I like Amy. So like I'm forgetting somebody. Those are all the main characters, I believe. Let's see. Well, actually, there was, I'm totally probably gonna mess up his name. Well, yeah, he was kind of a main character somewhat. I can't remember his last name. Was it Cooper probably? No. That was his last name. Don't remember. Kripke. Yeah. Just funny. Just, he was a pain in everyone's side and he knew it, right? And I don't think he really talked like that. So I think I saw him on other shows, movies, or whatever, and he just played his part. So there was him, and then there was, let's see, Stewart. I don't know where, I was going to mix her names up. It was going to come out weird. Howard and Stewart, I don't know what name was about to come out. It was about to come out like a weird name, but Stewart, comic book store owner, right? I'm really simply out here today. But yes, owner of the comic book store, really nice guy. Was kind of the same as he was, I think that was him in Hitch, right? And so I think the reason why when he ended up going on a couple of dates with Penny, 1, it was funny, 2, he was really nice, 3, he had good jokes. His sarcasm just kind of fit into it. And so he never really ended up with anybody. But I would have to say, if Penny didn't end up with Leonard, I could have seen her with Stuart. I don't know how long term, but yeah, it seemed to work. I think she genuinely liked him because he genuinely like made her laugh. And I would have to say, probably besides Leonard, he was probably the nicest one out of all of them. And so he was just a sweet person. And then he was able to draw really well. The episode we saw the other day was where he drew her while they were in the comic book store. Like I said, I believe that was the first time they brought her in. And it was amazing. It was really nice. Very talented. So I think she liked that about him as well. That kind of appealed to her creative artistic side, right? Being an actress and different things like that. So, yeah. The cast of The Big Bang Theory. Love the show. It's funny. If you've never seen it, it is hilarious. If you watch and you have a friend like, I don't think I'd be interested, give it a couple episodes. I say maybe 3. Whether you see them from the beginning or just catch reruns they're on. But I just like how they just melted it all in together. Like I said, I don't know how much of it was accurate, but if some of it wasn't, whether it was on purpose or not, it sounded pretty accurate and stuff like that. And so the equations they would have up on the board, I would see some like, that's not really made it look real. But sometimes my husband would sit there and look at them and explain it to me, and I was like, okay, that one is. And so, with answers, yeah, so you guys, he's really smart. He says he's not smart. He says he reads, he writes it down, and just in case he doesn't remember things, but no, he really is that smart. So, I got what I asked for, right? I wanted someone that was intellectual, and that's what I got. Got a little bit more than what I bargained for, but I'd rather have more of that than what it was like before. It's nice to be able to just talk to someone and have a conversation. I would say we're both intelligent in our own ways. So yeah, but we are out of time in overtime. So we're at 42 minutes, 21 seconds, 22 seconds. 1.34 for distance, 143 calories. I always assume this thing is going to stop when I push a button, even though I know over half the time now it doesn't like to, right? Okay, so this is not one of those times. Okay, so it is going to stop. And I have to keep in mind my appointments, right? But they combined them together, so that was good. That gives me enough time to get in here and get cleaned up. I have not, like I said, been eating my fruits for the past couple of days. I think I'm going to do the blueberries, raspberries. I'm going to see if I get a headache, because it could have just been for something else. That day it could have been not enough water. I would say any day for me is not enough water. And I don't know, anything could have brought that headache on. So if I want to keep seeing if I can help my eyes and my hair, I have to keep it going. So I got to pick up. And of course, when I run my errand, I'll pick up some more. And maybe I won't put them in a drawer, won't do the paper towels. Or maybe I might try the paper towels, but not in the humidity drawer, and see what happens. Those are the least amount that I'm supposed to eat a day, but they're the biggest out of all the fruits, right? So yeah, I'm gonna get in here and check the time and then go from there and finish up my day. But you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And if you like The Big Bang Theory, then let me know. And if you've never seen it, like I said, check it out. You might like it. All right, see you guys later. Bye.